Let's now look at the Race and Pace Analysis tabs. We'll choose a race from the race cards. Now click on Race Analysis. As you can see, this brings up quite a busy looking screen, but in actual fact everything is broken down quite simply when you understand the screen. So from left to right we've got the horse race card number, the horse's name, its odds, and an option to bet or tip the horse. In the main body of the screen you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different columns, each broken up into 3 constituent elements. The columns look at the horse's runs, wins and win percentage under various conditions related to today's race. These conditions are going, class, course, distance and field size. The 6th and final column relates to the official ratings of the horses. T stands for today's rating, L for last winning rating, and D is a calculation of the difference between today's rating and the last winning rating. Each horse has a traffic light colouring for each of the conditions in the race. So, for example, Even Stevens has an amber status for his performance under the going, which is standard. Wolful Sovereign has a green status for his performance in the going, and also for his performance in the class and his performance in the course and distance. He has an amber status for field size. We can also see that he's within £1 of his last winning official rating. Wolful Sovereign in the context of this race looks like an interesting bet. By clicking on the Results tab we can actually see that Wolful Sovereign finished 3rd in this race at a hefty 16-1. Now of course we don't always find such obvious selections at such fancy prices, but this race analysis report really is very powerful, and you can see at a glance where the optimally suited horses may be. For those of you who like a bit more depth to your form study, then you might be interested in the Pace Analysis tab. The purpose of the Pace Analysis tab is to identify the running style of each horse in the race and to review those individual run styles in the context of the overall likely pace of the race. Each horse receives a pace score between 1 and 4 for each of its last 4 races in the UK and Ireland. 1 means a horse was held up or ran behind. 2 means a horse was running mid-division or in touch. 3 means a horse was close up or chased the leaders, and 4 means a horse led or pressed the leader. Therefore there is a maximum score of 16 and a minimum score of 4 where a horse has full 4 completed runs. We can sort the information by total pace score, and this probably is the most meaningful way to do this. In doing so we get a feel for each runner in the race and their likely position in the early going, whether they'll be prominent such as Even Stevens or held up such as Alban Star, Bedloe's Island and Fratellino. We can also get a view for the race in totality, whether there's likely to be a lot of early pace with many horses contesting the lead, or if there will be a single front runner who may get an easy lead on the front and be able to control things from there. In this case we can see that there's no real trailblazer, but there are 3 or 4 horses who like to get on with it. The keys to success with the Pace tab are really to understand how a horse is likely to perform in the context of the prevailing pace shape of the race. Things to look out for are a single horse with a high score, where that horse may well get its own way in front, a race where several runners have a high score, where there's a good chance that they will cut each other's throats from a pace perspective and set the race up for a horse running in behind, and races where there's no pace at all. There's no high scoring pace runner. These races can often be muddling affairs, and it can pay to side with a longer priced horse in such conditions. Pace is a very complicated part of horse racing, and in some jurisdictions in the world, such as the US, Hong Kong and Australia, it's an absolutely fundamental cornerstone of form handicapping. In the UK, it's very rare to see this kind of information available on the race cards. We're delighted to have them exclusively at Geegeez, and I think when you understand this content, you'll find it a seriously valuable asset in your battle against the bookmakers. In the next video, I'll introduce you to 3 new reports which cover all of the day's racing in a single view.